At 14 to 4, time for sports now here on the lead. The parade honoring the country's Olympic and Paralympic athletes underway currently. It will culminate with an award ceremony this evening in Boksburg in Ekurhuleni. Star swimmer Tatiana Schoenmaker and surfer Bianca Buitenbach brought home gold and 2 silvers. And South Africa's Paralympic team came back from the Tokyo Games with a total of 7 medals. Our reporters Murena Mutupi and Hloni Mtimkulu are keeping you updated this afternoon. Hloni is on the bus parade itself. We spoke to her an hour or so ago while they were in Pretoria, and Murena Mutupi is on the streets of Tembisa. Hloni says the bus is also arriving in Tembisa. Let's begin with you, Murena. Good afternoon. Where are you in Tembisa, and what's the excitement like ahead of the arrival of the bus there?
Well, Pradan, a very good afternoon to you. So my colleague Lingenda Nambi and I are on Andrew Mapeto Street at the moment. Hustle and bustle, Pradan, as you can see, as you would expect at this time of the afternoon in Tembisa. As I'm speaking to you now, Pradan, I've actually had just spotted a police car, which I was under the impression was maybe a car that was stepping ahead of the entire process of that bus that Hloni is on along with the team. But it doesn't seem as if that's the case. So in terms of the excitement, Pradan, just to answer your question, it doesn't seem as though people are aware that our Olympic and Paralympic heroes are on the way. But I don't want to speak for any of them, so I'm going to just try and move closer to some of the vendors that are chilling outside Birch Acres Mall and hear maybe if they know what is about to happen. Siswam, unjani? Uphilile ngempela? Ngifuna ukukubuza. So kunebhasi elizayo la. Liza nabantu abarepresent South Africa ema Olympics. Ubuyazi?
Mina ngihlala everyday lapha estradini.
Also nje umuntu omatasatasa nje ubungazi ukuthi khona into ezenzakala la estradini.
Just ngiyaza ngomalanga mamfuna yabona. Ngabuza laba abazakise.
Kodwa ithi ngikubuze ke mina, mali ngavela lelo bhasi bavela labo bantu ngoba bazoza namaphoyisa uzothini?
Oh, imetro.
Kuzoza nama-metro, kuzoza lelo bhasi nalabantu abacelebrate-ayo uzothini uma ulibona?
Ngizogijima.
Uyalibaleka noma ugijimela kulo?
Ngiyalibaleka.
Ingoba yini usaba amaphoyisa?
Saba amaphoyisa basithathele isitoko.
No, hayi ngiyakuzwa siswami kodwa la ungathuki laba bazayo baza nabantu. So but then there seemingly isn't any kind of anticipation of the bus, of the parade that is coming to Tembisa, but I can almost imagine when it does get here, there's going to be some commotion on this road. There's already commotion, Pradan, as you've been seeing on this road here. There's somewhat of a fleet market as well. So what's about to come here, where we are, Pradan, close to Birch Acres Mall, is, I can imagine, going to be quite intense. But from what we're getting from the lady who's here is that we don't actually know.
There's not much awareness. Let's try and bring in Hloni. Can you hear me? Hloni, you are on the bus. Are you in Tembisa as well? I've just spoken to Murena. He's outside a shopping center in one area of Tembisa, deep inside there. He doesn't have sight yet of the procession or of the bus on which you are that's getting into Tembisa. Whereabouts are you? What's happening there? What can you tell us, Hloni?
Good afternoon again, Bradan. So we've just passed the Mahulong Stadium. We had off-ramped on Olifantsfontein Road from the R21, and then we got onto Andrew Mapeto Drive past Mahulong Stadium. So we are in Tembisa as well, and I think we should be coming out to where Morena is in not too long from now. We've just passed the Riambaya bus station. But I must say, I have with me Cheryl James. She is an athlete who won bronze at the Paralympic Games in the 400-meter T37. And one of the incredible things about Cheryl is that she only started sprinting in 2018. And you're already at the Paralympic Games, and you're already winning medals at the Paralympic Games. But you also did well at the World Champs in 2019, right? How do you start from 2018 and you're already doing so well?
I don't know. It's by the grace of God, really. By the grace of God that I get to be able to do what I do. Run so well, yeah.
And was it a difficult transition going from, I know you were doing longer races, right? Was it a difficult transition going from the longer races to the sprint and to the track?
Yes, it was pretty much a mindset thing. When I ran in Dubai, I walked on the track and I thought shucks, I don't belong on this track. But when I went to Tokyo, I felt like I belonged, which was great. So yeah.
So will we see you in Paris in 2024?
I'm definitely going to give it my best shot to get there, yes.
Okay, lovely. Well, thank you very much, Cheryl. Then I know that the noise started picking up again, but Cheryl James was just telling us how she transitioned from longer distance running to track running, and how well she did in that event, and how she's now looking forward to Paris 2024 in 3 years' time, where she will again compete at the Paralympic Games.
Yeah, I wish we could position you and Morena properly to see where Morena, they've passed Makulong Stadium, according to Shoni, just to update you, making their way, driving into the deep part, or the deep sections of Tembisa. Maybe sooner than later they'll be there with you. At the moment, I guess you're going to have to wait a little bit until you see them pass there. But let me just ask you, Shoni, before I go to Morena, so far, the parade, has it been going very well? Because speaking to Morena a short while ago, he interviewed one lady who's an informal trader, a vendor there by the side of the road outside the shopping center, very much unaware of what's about to arrive there or drive through there.
Yeah, so I think when we compare to the 2019 Rugby World Cup win by the Springboks and the parade there, it's not at that scale at all, you know, so there is that to consider. But when we've been driving along the R21, the N1, and coming into Pretoria and then coming out of Pretoria into Tembisa, there have been cars that have been hooting because the bus is labeled with the Paralympians and the Olympians' names, and it is also written Tokyo 2020 Paralympics and Olympics. So for the drivers, they can see what's happening, and they've been hooting along and waving along to the athletes that are here. So there is some awareness once they see what is going on. But I suppose if you can't see what's happening, or if you can't quite work out what the bus is about, then that might be a thing. But yeah, so there aren't a lot of people around the roads and lining the roads, but definitely in terms of cars hooting, there is definitely an excitement there.
Yeah, and the athletes, the Paralympians and the Olympians, do they feel recognized? Do they feel that their victory, their participation in Tokyo Games was really worth it, and that the country is honoring them appropriately?
Yeah, definitely. They are very happy, first of all, for themselves and what they've achieved. But also, and this has been quite a theme from when the Olympians came back and then the Paralympians also came back, that they wanted to bring hope to the country because the country's gone through a lot of difficult moments. So a number of them have said that they want to bring hope. And just this morning when we were getting on the bus, there was a lot of excitement as well. And in the initial stages of this bus parade, there was a lot of cheering and kind of happiness. It's kind of we've kind of settled, I think, as the ride has gone on. But I suspect that it will pick up again as we go into Johannesburg, the CBD, and also along Nelson Mandela Bridge as well.
Okay, Shoni, thanks for that. Let's bring you Morena. Morena, the bus is coming. I don't know exactly in terms of your position there. I don't have any GPS coordinates with me here in the studio, but Shoni says they are moving and we can see they are coming in. Any new thing you can tell us from where you are at this stage by that shopping center, Morena, in Tembisa?
But then I will try and speak to another one of the vendors here. But I think it's worth noting that Linge and I have been driving up and down in Rumapeto Road and Rumapeto Drive, and there is some construction here that is happening. There's a bus system that's about to be introduced in Tembisa. This has been a project that's been happening for a couple of years now. So the road is so narrowed down now here, Braden. It's a main road, but it's been narrowed down. So traveling up and down it makes it a bit difficult. So perhaps, you know, the procession is on Nrumapeto Drive as it is at the moment, but it'll most likely not be traveling throughout all of Nrumapeto Drive because, you know, part of it needs to avoid certain parts of this road. So we are on the same road, I imagine, Tonim Timkule and I, Braden, but now that I'm looking at the construction that has been happening all across this Nrumapeto Drive road, one would expect that perhaps we hopefully we'll meet each other, but may not, purely because the bus may have to detour into a different road and still keep on track. But I just want to come back and maybe speak to one of the vendors that are here, Braden, and ask if maybe they have any idea of what is happening. Mama, ngizakuwe ninjani? Hayi saphila mama, siyabona ukuthi yasebenza kakhulu la. Bengifuna nje mama ukubuza ukuthi ikhona into ezenzakala estradeni khona lesi se main road. Beningazi nina ngaso.
Angiyazi next.
Lutho akekho umuntu oshilo lutho nje la close by la nisebenza khona. Abantu abazovela la ngoba abantu ababalulekile la elizweni lethu nizothi ngaleyo nto.
Abantu bafana nobani?
No ama-athlete mama abantu abagijimayo abantu abaswimayo nje yabona.
Sizobheka nje.
Ibajabulele. Hayi siyabonga mama sibonga ukuthi nje nizobajabulela ngoba iyona into abayifunayo. So but then as you can tell this lady here of course who is also a vendor just outside of the mall is saying that look we didn't know about this. Nobody has said anything about this. But hey, if we see them, we will see them. We also don't really know who they are, but we will celebrate them because I suppose that's what happens when there's the festivities of a bus coming through. As Tony was mentioning, that there were people who probably also didn't know while they were driving past the bus that there was this procession. But hey, they still hooted because perhaps they identified who these people are and what it is they've done. So the same is to be expected here in Tembisa, albeit maybe on a smaller scale.
Yeah, but I guess
I can tell you now, there is the procession coming through. The bikes are there at the robots. I don't know if our viewers can notice anything at the moment, but there is the bus in just the back shot, Braden. We are a little further away from it because, of course, we wanted to come speak to the vendors that are here, but there are Metro cops who are now making sure that they barricade the road, that they block out any of the traffic so as to allow the procession to continue properly.
Thanks to the cameraman there, doing a brilliant job taking you to the intersection. Let's wait and see. We want to take this live from Tembisa as the bus, that victory parade bus carrying our victorious Olympians and Paralympian medalists who are being celebrated today. And it's going to make its way through that part of Tembisa. They've been to Pretoria earlier. We saw them outside the high performance area as well with Percival Young interviewing Tatiana Schoonmaker. And Hloni on Tim Kulu on the bus has also been talking to various other athletes. There it's coming, Morena. Let's stay with these visuals, Morena. I don't know if you want to say anything.
So, Braden, the traffic officials are now traveling further down and Rumapeto Drive. They are now making sure that all the taxis that are here at the mall where we are at clear the way because the bus is that close. In fact, I don't know, Braden, if you can see it. There it is in shot. The bus is now nearing us. The road is being cleared. So when I was mentioning, Braden, earlier on that the construction here on the road might make things difficult for the bus, the traffic cops are making sure that that's not to be the case. Roads have been blocked. The traffic is now starting to build up as the clearances are happening. So that anticipation that I spoke of when I was speaking to the ladies who are the vendors here close to the mall is now happening. Just behind me, I will allow Linga to stay on the picture, but just behind me, Braden, everybody is now stepping away from the mall, stepping away from their gazebos, stepping away from the taxis and where they are working to just catch an eye of what is it that is happening here with all this noise. So that excitement that I thought might not be happening, Braden, it seems to be picking up now.
And the bus, from what Hloni told us, is well marked. I don't know if we still have Hloni with us connected. And Hloni is on that bus that stopped there on that main road in a part of Tembisa, and that we were expecting any time. It has arrived. There's Hloni on the bus. I don't know if Hloni, you can still hear me. From the vantage point of Morena Mutupu, we can see the bus. You are now moving. A lot of excitement in Tembisa there. What are you seeing there on your side? Hloni, what can you tell us?
Yeah, so Braden, there are a few people. I know Morena did say that there weren't a lot of people that were around here, but there have been a few people that have seen the bus now. And as we passed with
Position now.
Oh, I see now there's a lot more people now than there were when we were coming in. And yeah, there's just a few people that are around here. As Morena said, there's a construction site here. And I think people are just wondering what's happening. But as I said, that the bus is marked with the names of the Paralympians and the Olympians. The names of the Paralympians and Olympians are here. So I guess people will see. And of course, the athletes are on the bus themselves. So there is that. And I think, you know, obviously the public engagement is a big deal for the athletes themselves, you know, just to for them to see South Africans. You know, they flew the flag, so it's obviously a moment for them to see South Africans that are cheering them on. So on my right, I think we might have on a few people that are waving, that are greeting them, that are taking photos.
Shoni, the link is not great. Let's go back to Morena on the ground. Morena, you saw the bus passing there. We saw some people waving. What can you tell us?
Well, Braden, again, I say that excitement that I thought was actually not going to be coming up because people were not anticipating what they've just seen now. Well, there it is. You mentioned people waving. There was actually one gentleman who was just running past now, shouting, Viva, Tokyo 2020 Olympics, Viva. So, you know, it's something that probably a lot of people may think, you wouldn't expect people around maybe in Tembisa or any of the townships to know that the Olympics had happened, that they've come and gone, but that's not the case, Brajan. People are very much in tune. People are very much clear about what it is that's happening in their surroundings, even though they may not know that there is a parade that is coming. But you can tell that when that bus passes by, whether they can spot Tatiana Schoenmaker or Bianca Beitendag or, you know, Ntando Mahlangu, they're just going to wave anyway because they can see them on that the wall on the bus, Brajan, that these are some prominent people who've done some seriously prideful things. So there was that excitement. Now that, of course, it's died down with the bus having gone past, it's business as usual here close by the Birch Acres Mall here on Nruma Petro Drive, Braden.
Yeah, we saw you there waving as well, waving at Hloni on the bus. We caught a sneak picture there of you. That was wonderful. Thank you very much. Morena Mutupi in Tembisa on the ground in a position that he was waiting for the bus that's carrying the Olympian and Paralympian athletes whom we're celebrating today. I mean, amongst them, of course, Tatiana Schoenmaker. She had 2 medals, a silver and a gold. And then, of course, we had Bianca Beitendag getting also a silver there, you know. And in all, our Paralympians brought back home 7 medals. Well done to them. They are on their way to an evening celebration in Boksburg in Ekurhuleni. They've been to Pretoria. They've just passed through Tembisa, and Tembisa was also saying halala to our Olympians and Paralympians.